Hello and welcome to Celtic World, the YouTube channel, the podcast made by Celtic fans all over the world, for Celtic fans all over this great big world. And who do we have joining us today? Well, we have a very special guest, Shawnee boy from Philly. Shawnee, what
Yeah,
up?
boys. It's good to be on. Bright and early. Actually, it's still dark out, but
Ridiculous o'clock for you. Thank you
yeah,
for
I just
joining us.
couldn't wait to talk about the match from yesterday. So
Couldn't
I
wait.
had to
It's
talk
better
about
than sleeping.
it. Yeah, I agree.
Now, usually, Sean, you're in this box and you're hosting the North America show. That usually goes out Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, as you say, stateside. You enjoying that?
Yes, yeah, I love it. It's like my Wednesday night is quickly becoming my favorite night of the week, which is insane. Me and Chris, have a few beers and find a couple of our pals from across the states, and we're trying to find people in Canada too to chat about Celtic. For an hour and a half. So it's always a blast. And this week we got James from the Huddle Breakdown on with
Oh,
us,
yeah.
and another Sean from Philly to talk about our upcoming fail at the Plow and the Stars in Philly in a couple weeks. So lots to look forward to.
And always a lot to look forward to when Brian's in the house wearing his Happy Mondays t-shirt. He's come to spread a little joy, Brian, eh?
Absolutely. Happy Monday. Could have been a lot better, but happy enough. Positive. Very positive. Looking forward to the next 13. Is it 13, 15 games to go?
Oh,
So
okay. Interesting. I
looking
wasn't
forward to it.
expecting you to be so positive, but I
Oh,
guess the
yeah.
shirt gives the game away.
Does
And
indeed.
then we'll go over to Mickey, who was having some audio issues. Mickey, are you coming through loud and clear?
Buongiorno from Italia. Can you all hear me?
We can all hear you. I don't know about you back home or other guys in the studio, but I hear a little noise when Mickey's talking. So hope if you're hearing that, it doesn't spoil your enjoyment too much. But Mickey, you were at the Bologna game, so we're going to be coming to you especially for
I
that.
was, yes. It was a nice little trip away. It's nice to see Shawnee. I think first time I've met you, Shawnee. So
Yeah, it is nice to meet you, Mickey.
I don't know if you're aware, Shawnee, but the other three of us we all went to school together. I don't know if you knew
Oh, that's true.
that.
I was
we're
not
all we're all the same class at
Among,
school.
among other things,
aware.
But, yeah.
We did all go to school. We were all in the same year, in fact. And
Okay.
Yeah.
like now,
Oh,
one's in Ireland, one's in Malaysia, one's in Rome. So, that's why it's Celtic World. So, yes, Shawnee, welcome to the St. Malgy's Old Boys reunion.
Yeah, and Martinoneill went there too, obviously, which we always
Martin
Martin
O'Neill
O'Neill.
went there as well.
I did know that. Well, I knew Gav. I knew that about Gav. So I guess in turn, you guys too.
All right. Well, look, hello, everyone in the chat. How's it going? I see lots of people saying hello. Let's bring up some of those just to get the show underway. Welcome, everyone, into the parlour. Lots of the usual faces. And, well, what are we here to talk about? Well, let's have a look, why don't we, at the thumbnail to start the conversation going. Well, it's a simple photograph of the game. I suppose one of the key moments in the game. The yellow card for Trusty that then turned out to not be. And ugly, frustrating game is what I called it. And, well, let's just talk roughly about that a little bit. It really was. It's percentage football, Shawnee, isn't it, that Hearts play?
Yeah, I wasn't particularly fond of the way we set about to go into that game too. I liked the lineup to start. That was kind of what I was hoping for the night before when I was looking at things, but I just felt like it was just, hoof it up the park and hope for the best in a lot of cases. And I just don't think we're a physical enough side to make that work. And we've consistently this season, our midfield, like just not winning that second ball. And I think that's what kind of Hearts is best at, really. Even though they were missing Devlin and Beningame, who usually are like great at, breaking up play there in the middle. So I just felt like it was very disjointed and like couldn't string a few passes together even. So, well, like you said, that thumbnail, very frustrating game was so true.
Terry Robb went to some Malachy's there, lads, from 1989 to 96. Means we'd have been the big lads when he was a wee lad. Is that right, Brian?
Yeah, that guy was there from 1933. So, yeah, I was older than half the teachers. Yeah, you can see it. Glory from within and all that.
Terry Rabb. There's a guy who's on that, what do you call that show, the Boise Bus? He went to some Malachy's.
No.
Yeah, he went to some Malachy's. He sometimes talks to him, and he's like in his shrine, a bit like Shawnee Boy, when he's down in the bar, in the ground floor. His name's Terry, isn't it? It's not the same fella, is it? Let us know if you're the same fella. All right, I'm going to put you on mute again, Mick, because I hear the buzzing. Does anyone else hear the buzzing? If not, I'll open it up for the rest
I
of
don't
the
hear
show.
it.
All right, Brian, you talk us through the team then. What did you make of it?
No, I was glad he put, apologies if I mispronounced this, Shavarna. I'm glad he started with Shavarna.
Shavarna?
Is that, how do you pronounce it, Thomas? How do you pronounce the surname?
Shvanchara?
Shvanchara.
Shvanchara.
Yeah, Shvanchara. So it was good to see him, and I mean, the thing is, he did gas Hatate, so he's still not forgiven Hatate for during the week. But on paper, it looked a really good lineup. Arujo coming back in, right back. I thought it was the team with a bit of a good physical element to it, and yeah. Glad McLaren wasn't on the pitch. You know, he's been poor recently. You know.
The only point of debate for most people was whether Negron's going to start, Mickey, and a lot of people saying, we don't want him in this battle, but that would have been a mistake, as it turned out.
Well, it did turn out. I mean, apart from the goal, I mean, he didn't do much other than the great free kick. But I probably would have started Hatate, as he had such a shorter game on Thursday night, because we did run out of steam in the game last night. I think Negron was tired. I think, the whole midfield passing was terrible. I think Hatate might have been a better option, but as it turns out, Negron got the goal, so we'll never know.
Now I'm getting a bit of crackling. Okay, let's start going through the game. Shawnee Boy, first moment, a Scales header from a KT corner. Pretty easy save. Not much to talk about on that one. Negron's foul. Was this a yellow card for you when Negron got fouled on the edge of the box?
Yeah, I think so. But I do think referees are not as willing to give a card that early on in the match in a lot of cases. So that's probably the thought process for McLean on that one. But I do think that was probably worthy of a yellow. And later on, there was yellows, flying out for probably fouls, not as bad as that one.
So it is Terry from the Boise Bus. See, I can't really watch that much anymore because we do this. But before we did this, I used to watch them doing the post-match. Terry's out in Randallstown, I think, direction. So very welcome. That's amazing. All right, good stuff. Some Malachy's connections going deep and wide. All right, then the free kick. Mickey, talk us through this. Is this the way you used to hit the free kicks when you were a boy?
I used more or less. That was usually my tactic. Whenever I hit free kicks, I normally don't aim for the goal. I just aim right above the head of the nearest player to you. That means you can aim for somewhere closer, which just looks like what he's done. Just aim right above the head and just carries its trajectory on in. So it was perfect. It was, as soon as he hit it, you knew it was in. It was just perfectly hit. And I think the commentary was saying could be 5 years near enough since we've scored a free kick from it.
Was it Jota against Real Madrid, Mick?
That was the last. Yeah, the last one in the league was even before that.
Was that Edward? Or as Packy Bonner says, Edward?
It was Turnbull in the COVID season, in a game that we drew 1-1 with Hibs apparently. So, but long gone are the days when Nakamura was scoring them every week.
Oh, what would you do for that?
I saw someone during the window here suggesting that James Ward-Prowse, the guy from Southampton who used to score all the free kicks, was available. And I was thinking, geez, you'd almost get him in just for that, because it would make a big difference if we had a player who could do that. But maybe we do. 11 minutes, chance for Hearts, close to Schmeichel, who saves. Shawnee, where have you been coming down on Schmeichel recently? But because if you've been harsh, he's pretty much keeping you quiet the last few games.
Yes, I had been harsh for most of the season, but yeah, he was great yesterday, I thought, and really kept us in the game in a lot of cases. Made some massive saves. I will say he's still not the most mobile, and I think he's got those reaction saves, but moving side to side, I think, or just coming out for a ball that he needs to come out for, is where he struggles. So yeah, but I mean, I can't take it away from him. He was great yesterday. So and probably Celtic's best player on the day.
Okay. Yeah, that shot kind of went quite close to him, but yeah, he was there to save it. This was a moment where they had a shot, remember, and the guy sort of followed through into Trusty, and look at them all claiming for a penalty here. I don't really want this to be so much about this incident itself, but the entire game, Brian.
Yeah, they're just
the atmosphere, the pressure on the referee, claiming for every goddamn thing in his face. I mean, it was quite a lot, wasn't it, for the official, or was he just a willing participant?
Probably a willing participant. I was reading the thing there. It was quite funny. Somebody was calling Lawrence Shankland Pennywise. I thought that was hilarious. Just no, you know yourself that any time we never get anything up at Swain Castle, and they're just horrible. It's a horrible place, horrible ground. They assaulted one of our managers previously, and I was delighted that Martin was getting really up and in your face, and that's what we've been missing. And even when we're going to probably talk about it, but when he came out after the game, if that was Rodgers, or he would have turned around and went, "Oh, on another day we might have won it," but Martin was straight in, right? Yeah, that wasn't a red card, but yeah, it's a minging ground.
Let's not skip ahead.
Let's not skip ahead, Gav. You know me.
Let's talk about Trusty, Mickey. Now,
yes.
How much pressure is he under here to get that back to the keeper?
Well, it doesn't look like very much from that particular shot.
Still, I know it's a still, doesn't tell the whole full story, but
But then the guy, then
what's he doing?
What
is he doing?
He ended up hitting off his shin pad, and it goes straight to the Hearts forward. It's an absolute shocker. But I'm not sure what he's trying to do. It doesn't look. Is he trying to head it? Is he trying to knee it? It's hard from that picture. But then obviously was talking about Schmeichel before. He makes another. That's a great save with his foot out to his left. It's a top save. Still going. So I heard the commentator said that the combined age of the two goalkeepers is 81 on the pitch yesterday.
Is that right? Hope for us all yet. Yeah. I mean, Trusty, what's his name? The manager of Hearts.
McInnes.
Somebody help me. Yeah. He doesn't have a very high opinion of Trusty, does he? The last time we played, he was like, let him have the ball because he can't hurt us. And now he watches his performance in this game. He must be licking his lips every time he sees Trusty lining up. There's something about Trusty and Hearts. Do not go well together. Now, Mahesh is making the point that Celtic were undone, Sean, by an inability to defend set pieces. I mean, that's it in a nutshell. And here we go. This is the corner they score from. The ball's in the air. This is where we're all watching the ball, and this guy's just sneaking in around the back like a thief in the night. What would you do about that if that was your team, Shawnee?
Yeah, I mean, it's Celtic. Just I feel like consistently they get beat on those back posts, and you saw it. I'm not skipping ahead, but the second goal for Hearts, the equalizer, was the same, winning a header at that back post, and again against, I think on the second goal it was against two Celtic defenders. So I don't know. It's just in a lot of cases our lack of physicality. Like I said, Scales and Trusty can win those headers in the middle of the box, but like once you get outside, like the goalposts, we just get those headers that either like that one Finley put in, but then other ones that just go straight back into the middle of the box, and then whatever can happen. Like so I don't know. I like I said, I think it's a lot to the transfer window. We need a lot of changes. We need just a stronger side. It's been years like this where we I feel like we get bullied a lot on those set pieces, and Hearts had a ton of them yesterday.
One of them. Yeah, I mean, we have just two players kind of backing into the ball, and he goes, jumping forward and springing, getting the height. It's just we're just not defending it well. We're just not organised, Mickey, are we?
No, we're not. And it's actually, when that corner was coming in, I was watching the game here with Killian, and there was just before that still you put in, there was two Celtic defenders marking 4 Hearts strikers just before they started to run around, to start to move. And then then it was left with your man at the back post. And whenever you're marking people like that, I think you've got to look at the man and not even look at the ball, and just jump when he jumps, just watch him the whole way.
Yeah.
Like, what do you call him? Paul Elliott used to mark like that.
Any blame
Back
on
in the day.
Casper, Mickey?
I don't know. Look, from that still, it looks like he shouldn't be beaten from there, that's for sure. But at the time, I didn't think it was Casper's fault at all. I think if you give someone a clear header like that inside the 6-yard box, you're asking for trouble.
Yeah, it's up to the defenders to deal with it.
Yeah.
All right, and here they get through. This is a great chance, Brian. What could possibly stop this guy from pulling the trigger? Liam Scales is the answer, Brian.
Scales is the answer, yeah.
It's good,
Me,
good
I
moment,
was watching the game and I was pacing the floor, and it's not very relaxing watching Celtic from my point of view. But Scales again is just doing what he does best, is defend. Well, what he does better at. But you look at that, you get Arahu or Aranj. What's his name? The Bournemouth guy, on loan.
Araujo.
Araujo.
I mean, he's quite small. He's 5'7", 5'8". KT's about the same. So most of those Magnuson and McEntee and some of these Hearts guys are 6 foot plus. So I mean, Scales isn't tall either, and Trusty's 6'3". So you're losing a fair bit of height there, and Casper wouldn't be the biggest. But yeah, Scales is good at what he does. He's a good defender, and that's what he's paid to do. Defend.
Okay. And our friend Negrin likes to get into space, Sean, and he's in brilliant space here. Again, still don't tell the whole story, but this is a ball that made its way through to Chvanchara. But looking at that, was that the right ball to play?
Was that the header?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, looking at the still, you would probably say Dyson at the back post would be the right ball to play. I mean, Chvanchara did really well with that to get it on, at least to hit the post. I mean, it was perfect. Not able to get any power whatsoever on that, just in the positioning and the way the ball comes in. So it would have been a goal that came out of nothing, really. So I mean, but yeah, I didn't see that still. To see Dyson probably would have, flubbed it somehow too. So he was terrible yesterday. It should have been taken off early for me.
All right. Now this is where the build up to our second goal starts, which was an absolute beauty. Comes into midfield, gets laid off out to Dyson. He has a lovely little flick to Chvanchara, who shows a good turn of pace. powers through. You didn't expect him to, like holds the player off with his arm and everything, and puts across an absolute beauty of a square ball for Yang to finish it. I mean, that was a moment of beauty in what was otherwise an incredibly ugly game, Brian, wasn't it?
Great, and it was good to see the big man. See, I'm not going to try and pronounce his name. Shvan Chara, has a bit of pace, and when was the last time he played? He hasn't had he had 60 minutes there for us, and I think he played maybe half an hour for Gladbach at some stage. But yeah, just decent quality. Has the balls to do it, and an assist and a red yellow card as well. So he's not afraid to get the boot in. So he'll always bode well with me, being a bit physical. But I like his confidence, and great goal. And had he not got booked, he maybe could have stayed on a wee bit longer. But that's the breaks. Them's the breaks, as they say.
Yeah, I mean, apart from our 2 goals, which were both moments of beauty, Mickey, we did almost nothing else in the game. I mean, it was just hoofing the ball in the air, booting it up the park in the hope that somebody was there. There was so little composure getting the ball down and trying to play.
Yeah,
We let Hearts dictate what kind of game it was, right? We totally bought into what they proposed.
exactly. But what they proposed, as you said, apart from those 2 moments of magic, everything was terrible. And I think we struggled, as you said before, to defend the set pieces, but we gave away so many free kicks. I mean, we had to defend about 14 set pieces instead of 2 or 3. We were just kept the balls in the box over and over and over again with stupid fouls all the time, the whole match. Like that was mostly our downfall, giving them a chance to get set pieces as often as they wanted to. So every 5 minutes there was another set piece coming into the box.
And, some of that is down to questionable refereeing, which we'll come to when we get through these stills here. All right, so that was 62 minutes when Yang scored. And then we have kind of the incident that's, causing the most spleen venting around the Celtic world, Shawnee. What's your stance on it?
I mean, for me, it's never a red. I think yellow was fair. And the more angles you see and looks at it, I get, the more I believe that. But I think it's just always dangerous when you just can't give them that opportunity, because it's and a lot of it comes down to me for the usage of VAR in that situation. And in a lot of situations in Scotland, they just don't use that very well. And honestly, I don't even think that's one that should have been looked at, or at least it should have been a quick look, and that McLean got it right, or at least probably had a good look at it on the field, and it stays that way. It's constant re-officiating of the game, the way Scotland uses VAR. I feel like it's different than other leagues, so it's very frustrating. But for me, I don't know how Trusty let Kabore get behind him like that at that point in the game when we're holding the 2-1 lead. I think that's probably the worst part of it for me. And like I said, you just gave Scottish refs the opportunity to make that call, and a lot of times they're gonna take that opportunity to screw us over a little bit.
Okay, so in this photograph, you can see the position of the trustee and the attacker, and also Murray coming into the picture. This is Murray here, isn't it?
I think that was Scales.
Scales.
No, is it Scales? Is this not Scales?
Oh yeah, maybe. Well, Murray wouldn't have been in yet because Murray came in after the red card.
I think it's Murray. Is it not? You sure about that?
Oh no, Murray came in for Tierney. Yeah, you're right. It probably was. It was Murray.
Okay, so this is where the ball trundled on to. So, I mean, this is the kind of area you might sort of guess that if he could have got the shot away, it would have been here. So I just wanted to explore this a little more. The SFA guidance to VAR team states that when assessed an incident of denying a clear goal-scoring opportunity, the consideration should be the distance between the offence and the goal, the general direction of the play, the likelihood of keeping or gaining control of the ball, and the location and number of defenders. Following the game, Martin O'Neill insisted that Liam Scales could have covered for his centre-back partner, while he noted the ball was travelling away from Kasper Schmeichel's goal. Now, Liam Scales gets in around here, so maybe he thinks he was going to join in the defensive operation there. Is there anyone on the panel who isn't 100% that it was no more than a yellow? Brian?
I wouldn't even give the yellow, It was sort of the coming together of the two of them. But you know yourself, once it goes to VAR, you're snookered, especially with those guys. But this will make it all the sweeter because they're throwing everything at us, every trick in the book, even the fact that we played 60 minutes with 10 men in Bologna, and then we played another 17 minutes with 10 men. And the boys are running on empty, and I understand the frustration of these big long balls coming out in agricultural football. But I think Martin got to the stage where 2-1, just defend at all costs and minimise risks. But unfortunately, when you've got McLean who doesn't have a backbone, and you've got cheating beaten on VAR, and what else do we expect? And fair play to Martin coming out and making a statement about the blue card. It's been long overdue, and many's a Celtic manager have sat on the sidelines and played to the gallery and all the rest of it. But fair play, Martin come out. But he's actually the oldest manager to get a booking. The other night, I read the oldest working manager to get a yellow card. I just thought that was so good. The passion and the drive and all the rest of it.
All right, well, let's look at some of the voices that are suggesting that the decision had some validity. Tom McManus here. Kabori's getting onto that and getting a shot away, so it's a red card in his opinion. Unless Liam Scales turned into Usain Bolt overnight, he's never getting to the striker there. Is there not something in that, Michael?
I don't think so. I think, as you said, the ball's going away from goal. It's going in front of where Liam Scales is. Murray is going to cover as well. I think. I think it was just a tired challenge. I think after the game on Thursday night, Trusty was completely knackered. He just reached his hand out. He didn't need to do it. If it had been going towards goal, red card, fair enough. But you've stopped a goal scoring opportunity, so that's all right. It's a challenge he doesn't need to make at all. I think he's just tired. He just reaches his hand out and then goes down. But it's definitely not a red card. But he shouldn't have done the challenge in the first place. I just think tiredness is creeping in over the whole lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
There was, let me see if I can. Shvanchara's jersey was pulled significantly in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And what's the difference? It'll make it all the sweeter, lads, when we win the league. It'll make it all the sweeter that they threw everything at us, and that team's a bit of spine at the minute. And the Rogers team or Nancy team would have capitulated. We got away with a point. We'll hopefully get AJ back and a few others.
Well, lots of strong feelings in the chat. Cheating, beaten, and such talk. Would it have been a red for Sevco? No. Stephen in our group chat said it's like one of the most egregious beaten moments ever. I don't know if I'd go as far as that. I think there is sometimes there's just no room for justification for the decisions you get against you. I think
but Beaton should never have got involved anyway, because if it's not,
it's not a clear and obvious.
Exactly, it's not a clear and obvious error, so he should just keep his mouth shut.
VAR is used for 1,000 times more incidents that are not clear and obvious errors. Scotland anyway. But yeah, it was very disappointing. Very disappointing indeed. As you mentioned here, there's another moment here. The ref and linesman had another howler. Trusty foul near the end. Could have been an equaliser late on. Was never a foul. Negron offside. No words to describe it. See below. This is after the ball's being played, I think, and he's like on the line in his own half. So there's lots of things you can point to for refereeing inadequacies in this game, but we haven't finished with all of them. Like I say, this was the last one we showed, 73 minutes with the ball trundled to, and that is the definition that we heard. Okay, 83 minutes, Schmeichel throws out an arm to make a sort of point-blank save. Shawnee, how are you feeling at this stage? Are you thinking we're going to ride our luck and get 3 glorious points and be back in the title hunt?
I did think we were going to see it out. Hopeful, but
yeah.
And again, another Schmeichel that was massive, but again, on one of those like reaction saves, which he is really good at. So yeah, I thought at that point we were going to hold on, and it would have been like Brian said. I think it'll be sweet when we win the league at the end. I think it would have been a very sweet victory yesterday with 10 men, but alas, it wasn't meant to be.
Not to be.
I mean, this is when we come alive as the season, as Roger said last year, the year before.
Well,
this is where we come alive. This is the season. This is the meat and drink, the business end of the season. Hearts haven't been down this road. Last time they won the league was 1961. So, well done, lads. See if you can cope with the pressure. And
well, if they keep getting free kicks in places like this, they're going to be fine. This was the inevitable goal, really. That's how we lined up for it, and ball to the far post, and almost a carbon copy of the previous incident.
Yeah.
2 players sort of backing in, their player out jumping us, springing forward, gets his head to it, and it falls to Braga there, who finishes, much to everyone's annoyance. So we're back to 2-0, Mickey.
Yeah, as I was saying before, it just seemed
2-2, sorry.
Yeah, 2-2.
No, what was it? Yeah, 2-2.
Desmond.
As I was saying before, the whole match just seemed to be free kick practice for Hearts. Every time I looked up, they were getting another free kick from somewhere around the edge of the box. Inevitably, you're going to concede those goals. We had a very makeshift defence. By that stage, Tierney had gone off. Trusty had been sent off. And it was, as you said, it was inevitable. It was probably coming. But I think holding on for 2-2 at the end of the season is going to make a big difference, especially after Thursday night's exertions.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, I think the
Very
Huns are
positive,
going to be the most difficult ones at the moment. I think Hearts will fall away a little bit.
I agree.
Brown
Hearts.
Warrior with a good summation there. Hearts went long ball and defended a point relying on set pieces. We, of course, duly obliged with 300 set pieces. So it makes a good point there. I also noticed Brown Warrior on Axom, which Anthony was on pre-game and also half-time, post-game. Brown Warrior praising the singing that he hears on a Celtic World, so that's very nice one. In the comments in Axom. Well done for that. So we nearly lost it. There was a chance to win it here. This was the shot that came flying off the crossbar. And McInnes nearly had a heart attack. But it sort of skimmed the top of the crossbar. And then we had a chance. Scales couldn't connect on this one. That would have been going out in a blaze of glory. Imagine that had it gone in. The limbs among the Celtic fans and the despair in Gorgie, among the Gorgie faithful. But not to be. 2-2. Now, 2 weeks ago, or not 2 weeks ago, but last week, I proposed that these next 2 games coming up are going to be absolutely massive. We've got Bologna and then we've got Hearts, and it could be season defining. Imagine we win both games compared to imagine we lose both games. Of course, neither happened. We drew both games, so they haven't been season defining at all. We're still not out of the league. Seems to be the message from both the chat and from the panel. Do we all believe that? Shawnee and Brian have both said it. Mickey, you still think we're in the hunt?
Yeah, well, I was watching a Celtic World on the train on the way to Bologna last week, and you were talking about the next time we'll be on, these 2 games will be over. And I thought, if we do draw both games, it's not really a disaster. It keeps us in the Europa League. It keeps us in the league. I would definitely have taken 2 draws and picked those without knowing what the other results were going to be. I think 2 draws is actually not bad. I think we're going to be all right.
Okay, well, yes, that's very positive indeed. All right, well, Shell, tell us about your journey up to Bologna then, and we'll move on to the Bologna game before we get back to business. So, talk us through your day. You went up with your son, Killian?
Actually, he couldn't come in the end. Unfortunately, he had another bloody eye problem, and he had to go to his eye doctor in that morning, and he wasn't able to come. But I wasn't going to go myself then, but he said, "Sure, go on. Make sure you go. Send me pictures and send me videos." So I did a few video calls from him up there. So I had to go up by myself on the train, and I watched your good self for an hour on the way up, which was very pleasant, watching the Celtic world. And I met a few people there. I had a few friends I was meeting. We went for lunch for an old bolognese, of course.
You went for a spaghetti bolognese, yeah.
It was actually fettuccine, which is like the flat, fresh pasta. We do it mostly with that rather than spaghetti. That was very nice.
Is the bolognese in Bologna any better than the bolognese elsewhere?
Well, they don't even really call it bolognese. Oh, that's mine. That was my plate. That's right. Yeah, they don't even call it bolognese. They call it ragu up there. We call it bolognese for some reason.
Ragu brings the Italian out in you.
That's it. So I had a nice lunch, a few glasses of wine there. Bologna was freezing cold up there. Oh, there's me
Very good.
in the shithole of the stadium.
When the acid kicked in.
What did you say about the stadium, Mickey?
It's a shithole.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, practically all the Italian stadiums are shitholes because they've always got that track around it. You're
far
miles away from the pitch. Luckily, it wasn't raining because you get soaked. A friend of mine went up to watch Roma there last season, and he got so soaked that his photograph came off on his passport. He got so wet, and he had to get himself a new passport because he got soaking wet in Bologna.
What's going on in this little clip?
That's the queue. That's the queue for the bar.
Queue for the bar?
Yeah, that's one of the only good things in Italian stadiums. You can drink when you're at the match. Which is quite nice. So we all got bussed out at about 4:30. So we're in the stadium a good hour and a half before
I haven't
kickoff.
checked these for quality or which way they're pointing. Oh, jeez. We'll have to come back away from that. Apologies if you're feeling nauseous there watching that.
But it was a good trip. There's plenty of Celtic fans, about 3,000. I think we only got 1,800 tickets, but I myself bought tickets for the Bologna end, right beside where the Celtic fans are, and a lot of my friends did as well. So they just kind of shoved us all in the same corner, so that we took up that whole side. So it was about 3,000 altogether instead of our allocation of 1,800. So it was a good atmosphere. And it was a decent
And we
crowd
got off
for an
to a
early
good
kickoff.
start, didn't we? 4 minutes. Rio gets a goal.
I think we had to be gifted a goal with our striking options at the moment. So I was saying that I think you probably would have scored that one, Gav.
Thanks.
What do you reckon?
I think I would have indeed. And then, of course, Rio got sent off. What was the feeling in the stadium at this moment?
Well, the feeling in the stadium initially was that it wasn't a sending off, but then we sort of I got word from Killian, and other people got word from people who were watching it on TV, and just said he flicked his foot out. It was a sending off, a stupid second yellow card, which it certainly was.
Then Trusty had a better moment in this game.
Yes, got ourselves 2-0 up. In fact, then, as soon as the halftime whistle blew, I said to the guy beside me at the match, I said, would you prefer to be 1-0 up with 11 men or 2-0 up with 10 men? What do you reckon, Gavin?
2-0 up with 10.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Got to get the points on the board. Scores on the doors, Mrs. Ford. Shawnee, were you watching this game live? Was it on a decent time for you?
Yes, it was like a lunchtime. I think 12:45 in the afternoon for us. So I was watching it
fantastic.
and working at the same time. Or not really working, but so I did get to watch live. I'll usually able to watch these live, the European games, which is nice. They're usually like 12:45 or 2:45 kickoff for us. So.
Brilliant. No chance for me out in Asia watching these kickoffs. And then their first goal, the headed goal I'm not sure what minute that was. And then this fella, there was a lot of debate over this goal, Brian. What was Casper unsighted by one of their players? Doesn't look like it from here. Ball's already left his foot. Casper's line of sight is more likely unsighted by the defender, don't you think?
Yeah,
What's your
probably
position on this?
him doing the chicken walk there. Is that Scales? Putting the hands behind the back.
Think so.
Yeah, but Casper's, if there's any kind of way, any kind of space or distance, Casper sort of struggles. You know, I think he's Father Time's catching up with him. But Mick, when you were over in Bologna, did you see Nicholson? Did you?
I didn't see him. No,
No,
no, he wasn't going to the same restaurant as me.
no.
You saw the footage of him getting cornered by the dude in the street.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah.
Well, he smiled awkwardly through the encounter and was hoping, just, please don't hit me. It's like being back at school again, you know. Huh?
He's an ugly child. A face only a mother could love.
Yeah. All right. So, so you were happy enough with 2 draws. I mean, I suppose before the 2 games, Stephen and I were secretly discussing how we both thought we're definitely going to lose to Hearts. There's no way we're going to beat Hearts anyway. So, yeah, I don't know how positive I'm feeling about it. I mean, it's not over yet, of course. And there's quite a lot of debate raging on the social media about, here's a post. Celtic fans can only laugh at any Celtic fans who bit the dummy and have thrown in the towel on this title race when it's a 6-point gap with 45 points left to be won. Go watch badminton or something.
Yeah.
This life isn't for you, big dog, says the poster. And then, of course, that's followed up by people saying, well, okay, I agree, but we've left ourselves very little room for error. And other people saying, if we were signing players like our rivals are, or rivals for the title this season, we'd have more confidence. But, you know, people seem to be coming in their door faster than ours, and we possibly need them as much as they do or more. So, I'm not confident at all.
But Gav, you think of the shit show both us and the Ibrox club have been through, and Hearts are still only 6 points clear. So we're like a freight train now with Martin. You know, I can't see us getting beat the rest of the season, and I mean that. I'll put my hand on it. I'll put my fucking 100 quid on it. Martin doesn't lose. He might win every game, but he sure as hell doesn't lose. I have no fear at all. I would love to see some sort of defender in, because we can't defend for shit. Excuse my French. But Martin doesn't lose games, and Martin's ruthless. See with Tate yesterday, he kept looking up at him. I don't know if you've noticed, but Tate will pull a performance out. I don't know. Our next game is it? Who do we play next? The Falkirk. You know, we'll play them a lot, and he'll get a Tate. He'll get a tune out of him. You know.
Let's look at what Mahesh is saying with his stats interpretation. Hearts and Rangers will drop a heap more points. Their net XG is below 0.5 goals a game, which means the laws of probability kick in Celtic's favour. The idea being that they're getting results beyond what they ought to be, and he's forever pointing that out, and that ultimately over time that, you know, reverts to the norm. And he says we're still favourites for the title. Does anyone, Mickey, are we favourites for the title, or is that stretching it?
I thought that would be stretching it a little bit. I mean, we are behind, 6 behind Hearts. We're behind the Huns. We have to go to Ibrox, so I wouldn't call us favourites. But I think we're definitely right in it. It's quite nice to be in a title race, to be honest with you. I mean, even watching the Hearts game yesterday, it's nice to have a nice, exciting Hearts game to watch that we really need to get some points off. We need to win, rather than other seasons when Paddy Power are doing a publicity stunt by paying out in Celtic before the end of January, that kind of thing. This is much better fun and much sweeter when we win it.
Yeah.
And how much of it depends on what bodies we get in between now and the end of next week or whatever, or like when the window closes. We're like there's a week left, isn't there? So, I mean, Shawnee, are you expecting great things from this window, or is it going to sputter out with another one or two uninteresting loans coming in?
Yeah.
And what's going to happen if that happens?
I think it's far more likely to sputter out. And like you said, it might be a loan. I could see one more signing. I think is probably what happens. Hope for more, but the board just hasn't shown me anything really that they're gonna do what it takes, and then I think that will kind of create that or build on that level of frustration with the Celtic fan base. So we shall see. I hope they bring in people. I think Brian's 100% right. We need another, I think particularly central defender. And I think it showed yesterday, like when we had to bring in Murray when Trusty had to go off. And then by the end, it was a makeshift defense, just trying to like see it out with the being down to 10 men, right? Having Ralston and Araujo, and then it was I think we need more bodies in, and again more like size and strength across the pitch would be humongous for me.
Yes, well, for any organization, regardless of size, to survive and thrive, there needs to be a little bit of an injection of cash here and there. And actually, we're no different. So here's a small word from our sponsor to that effect.
Every life is full of stories, and we all know someone whose story should be preserved. That's what an audio memoir is, a record of you or your loved one's life stories, family anecdotes, and poignant memories. We will talk online and then edit the recordings into episodes, accompanied by family photos and contemporaneous images of the past, creating an enduring audio-visual experience. Links can be shared with friends and family, both near and far, who will delight in hearing their loved ones' priceless stories in their very own voice. For the participant, this can be a touching, nostalgic reflection. For friends and family, a unique and precious gift in the present, and even more so in the future, where their voice, their laughter, their love can always be there. We all know someone who deserves an audio memoir.
Use the discount code Celtic when you get in touch for a 10% discount. So there you go. If that's of interest to you, or if ever it comes up in conversation, you can tell them that such a service exists and they can immortalize their stories for all time. Imagine all Brian's great anecdotes being immortalized in one place for future generations to enjoy. Huh? Wouldn't that be good?
Magic.
Gavin
No
Holland.
comment.
No.
Brian's classic stories. All right, so
It's like, Mickey, do you remember Gav's homework diary? Years
Oh,
ago,
come on.
with all the pictures of himself. We had to get ID to get a student card to get into Lavery's. And Gav had a couple of spare ones, and he did with a Guten Gavin and Gav in Holland, and then Gothic Gav, and then what was the other one?
this is going to be completely lost on everyone, Brian. It's a recollection we can have after we've gone off air.
All right, okay.
Not really broadcast quality. So, Brian, you're relatively positive. You're like talking about, we'll all get behind Martin. Of course, that's the case. But, if things start slipping away, do you expect any fan action? Because there was talk of, a stadium boycott for the Dundee match, is it, in the Cup?
Yeah.
Do you think that would have legs if we were to, drop more points? Or?
I personally would prefer that we didn't go down that route, and I know the board are going to dirty do us. I know they're going to maybe bring one, maybe two players in max. I just think Martin would just all get behind him, and boycotting, as much as I called under Nancy, I was calling for us to boycott every bloody game, but we just need to get behind Martin. And I do think, Srirachi, I was looking at the comments there, Iheanacho back. Could you imagine if we had Iheanacho and Siobhan Chara as a choice, on the bench? You know what I mean? We don't have a bench at the minute. We can barely put 11 people on the pitch, but eventually we will get the players back. I hope to God they don't. I mean, Martin's just what he's doing is unreal, and you can get a tune out of anybody. But I'm just wondering. I don't think boycott's the way forward. I think the team's a wee bit fragile, and Martin's keeping the glue to keep it all together. And once we start doing that, the players know. The players know there's discontent and all the rest of it, but we just need to get behind the team. Get behind Martin, and you know something, could go down to goal difference. I remember watching Celtic needed to beat St Mirren 5-0, and Hearts needed to get beat by Dundee. And this will go down to the last week. This will go down, and there'll be ups and downs. I think we've had our downs. I really cannot see us losing. And if we do, we'll not go down without a fight. That team. The team have got something, and Bozzy and Sean and Martin and Tony Woods and all the rest of them, they're trying everything to try and win this league. And Martin's been over I was looking at Martin's stats. Was it 18 games against Hearts and he'd only lost 1 or something? Roll hasn't. I looked at McGuinness yesterday, and he almost sort of crapped himself a wee bit when he saw Martin. It's all very well, Martinoneill just shake Danny Roll's hand and suck the life out of him. I have no worries about us at all. We need to get behind Martin, get behind the team, and hopefully that asshole Nicholson will spend money. And if not, then, I mean, Harry hasn't resigned. It's treasonous what he's doing to our club. But we've been round it. How many titles have we won over the last 20 plus years? We've got a Patton who's a serial winner. We've got Schmeichel as a serial winner. James E. Forrest, these boys, that big lad coming in, you could see them all giving them a bit of a boost. The only thing would be if there are players still there that do not want to be there, we need to get them out the door. And I mean that. Like Zamaida and Hatate, them boys are ogling moves. Get them out. I'd rather have nobody there than somebody that doesn't want to be there.
Well, we need players in the door more than out, if you ask me. There's that time for sort of spring cleaning, but this isn't really it, if you ask me. McGuinness running up to the bench when we scored our first. What was all that about? Apparently somebody said something like Fozzie or someone. Does anyone know what caused that sort of ruckus? Sean?
I didn't hear what was said. I know, I like you said, I heard something was said, but I don't know who it was or what was said. So I don't know, and I didn't even see it really until afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty then. Well, look, we're coming up on the hour. I don't have any dingbats for you today, Brian. You'll be disappointed to hear no Celtic catchphrase.
What about, for old time's sake, Gav? Can you get the Chris Boyd out of the vault? Shut up your face.
If you'd given me a bit of an advance warning, I could have done that, but fortunately, I can't do it when we're sitting here. Let's look forward to the next games. What are the next games then? While we're on, did you just tell us what the next fixture was?
We got Utrecht on Thursday.
Utrecht, yeah,
of course.
So that's a big one.
And who have we got up front? Kenny's injured.
Remains to be seen. We have the new boy, and that's the other question. I see. When's Iheanacho coming back? He seems to be very close, doesn't he? He's the closest to returning.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But we won't be able to. Siobhan Chara won't be able to play because he won't be on the.
Oh, that's right. He's not
roster.
on the. Of course.
And then.
So it might be Dyson at the top to start. Which.
I think he's brutal up front, up top.
Yeah.
Tall.
I've been a massive Dyson fan over the years, but he's just this year he's a shell.
Yeah.
And yesterday was probably his worst game that I've seen him have.
And Engels wasn't great yesterday either. But then again, you have to look at he's been playing, 10 men last couple of games.
Yeah, that's true.
Arcade Faithful agreeing with you here, Shawnee. This might be controversial, but Dyson Maeda at times shows he's absolutely excellent in terms of his engine, especially in European games, when it's backs to the wall and he's tracking back defending, covering every blade of grass. However, far too often domestically in Scotland, he's absolutely ineffective. There's no end product, his first touch is poor, he gives the ball away far too often, and it regularly plays us into danger. The point that was being made in the commentary was that with his back to the goal, he's a nightmare. He needs to be running onto the ball in behind. That's what he's all about. And yeah, it was very frustrating watching him yesterday, wasn't it?
Oh, he was brutal. Like, even on I think he gave the ball away right before we gave away the foul for Hearts' second equalizer. And just for just no reason whatsoever. I think Murray won the ball and tried just a little tap back to Dyson, and he just gave it right back to Hearts, and we fouled them immediately, and then it became 2-2 on the equalizer. So he just constantly was giving the ball away, particularly in those where he's trying to has his back to goal, like you said, and he's had a terrible season, I would say, and then just I don't know. I'm not confident with him leading the line on Thursday, but it might not have many other options.
I think it's almost certainly going to happen, and it's against Utrecht. Now, I mean, can anyone tell me if they're a good side? They don't sound like a particularly good side to me. To me, they sound like a condition that, you get a burning sensation when you urinate. That's what I think of when I see Utrecht.
Cabbage hands and nets too, Barkas.
Yeah, Barkas they have. That's all I know.
That's right.
Brilliant. I'd be sitting the halfway line just peppering them in. They're not good. We should beat them. The crowd behind us and all the rest of it, but we need to be about 2 or 3 up. I was disappointed with Tanaki yesterday, Gav, when he came on.
Yeah.
He gave away a couple of needless fouls, and could have cost us. But yeah, they're not a good outfit. They're done. They're done in terms of Europe, and should be a penalty kick for us. I don't care.
Yeah. So is that going to herald a whole change in the mood music? We get a win there, where we qualify for the next round of Europe, gives everyone a lift, and then we kick on from there. That's what we're all hoping for, Mickey.
Definitely. I think before Martin O'Neill came in, Europe was almost a closed door.
Yeah.
He gets the result away at Feyenoord. He's not there for the Roma game, obviously. It's under good old Wilfred. And then he gets another result away from home in Bologna. He puts everything back on track. So it's in our own hands. We're 24th. We win the game. We're through to the next round. Nothing more to it. So let's get it done and get a wee run in Europe.
Absolutely.
For Martin.
Yeah.
Get a bit of joy going in this season. Christy, we qualify. Huns don't. We get a lift. Too right we will. All right. Well, look, on that positive note, I think we'll wrap the show up with that.
Well, tell me this, by the way. Would you take, like the season when Martin got to the final and we won nothing? Would you take a final and win nothing?
I don't know if I could do it for him.
That was enjoyable that season.
That was brilliant. I still near cry at that.
I don't know if he could cope with another loss in a final at his advanced years. Might just make him wither. That would be heartbreaking because it's his greatest regret,
We might get Porto in the next round as well. That's a possibility.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Has Bobo Balde any children?
Grandchildren would probably do.
Grandchildren.
All right. Well, look, we live in hope. So that's. I'm predicting that is what happens. We win in Utrecht, gives the whole place a lift. We're flying the flag in Europe, and that makes us all think, what are we doing here? Let's reassert our dominance back at home. Hearts wobble almost immediately after the Celtic game. I think in their next outing, much to everyone's shock, that would be typical of the SPFL. And the picture changes. Am I living in Cloud Cuckoo land,
Nope.
Shawnee?
No, not Cloud Cuckoo land, but Celtic hasn't shown anything to me to say that will happen. I think they could win on Thursday and get to the knockout stage of Europa. Will it give us a boost in the league? I don't know. We haven't shown much consistency really all season, so I hope so. We need something to give us a boost.
We need something to give us a boost, lads.
It doesn't
That's what we
seem
do.
like
Well,
this
we hope to all the people watching back at home, in some small way, we've given you a boost over this last hour of talking all things Celtic. So thanks to Shawnee, Brian, and Michael for joining us in the studio, spread all around the globe. And thanks to everyone in the chat as always. It's not the same without you. Hail, hail, boys! Brilliant thought could happen. Hail, hail! Keep the faith. That's got to be the message. All right. Until next time, everyone. All the very best to you. Hail, hail!
Hail, hail, troops.
Hail, hail.